singing in the rain, just singing in the rain. The song you just heard is actually in the public domain, and what this means is that you can use it, reproduce it, remix it, sell it without having to take permission. Yes. And so, as an artist, you can sample it, you can do almost anything you want to do. And that's actually a very big deal because, of course, in as much as we know we want to protect our intellectual property rights, it should not have monopoly forever. And that is what the concept of public domain does for us. So, January 1st of every year is actually the public domain day. And the 1st of January this year, the song that you just heard, Singing in Rain, actually entered the public domain. Now, last year, what entered the public domain? It was Mickey Mouse story. The year before, that was 2023, it was the Winnie the Pooh story. The character actually entered the public domain. So I actually suggest that you guys go online, Google it, find out all the things that have entered into the public domain from copyright protection. This means that they are no longer protected by the exclusive and monopoly rights of copyright. So now everybody can use it. However, this does not mean they cannot stop, or should I say, this does not mean that they will stop earning money from it. So the fact that your song has entered into the public domain does not mean that you will no longer receive royalties for it. You just will not have the only, should I say, you will not have a monopoly over it. You don't have control over its use anymore. And you can still monetize in any way you can. However, other people can also monetize without having to take permission from you. That's what basically monopoly means. And in Nigeria, if you have a song, you have monopoly over it for up to 70 years after you die. However, the moment it enters the public domain, that is basically at the end of the 70-year period. Now, for those of you that like to be anonymous, the 70 years start counting from the year you released it. After you've released it, after 70 years after you've released it, then it goes into the public domain, and it's possible that you're probably still alive at that particular time. So it's best that you kind of try to avoid being anonymous when you're releasing your stuff. I mean, you can always use pen names and stuff, but make sure that your identity finds its way into the public domain. Well, not public domain, but let people know you are the one that actually created that thing first, so that your monopoly time can be extended for a long period of time, even after you are dead. So your kids, your grandkids, even your great grandkids can also benefit from it. The main purpose of this video is for you guys to go online, find out the songs that are actually in the public domain, sample them. And I'm saying this because I know that sample clearances are quite difficult and they can be stressful, and some can be very hard, especially when you do not even know the original owners. But if you can find out the things that are already in the public domain, then you don't have to go through the clearance procedure. Another issue that I want to just bring up is the issue of crediting. So even though the monopoly of ownership, use, and control of their song has entered into the public domain, that monopoly has ended, it is still the ethical thing to do to say, this is the original person that came up with this idea. I am just making a cover. I am just making a release. And this has entered into the public domain, so nobody is allowed to come after me. You understand? As opposed to just doing it and giving people the impression that you're the first person. Yes, so the fact that something was released over 100 years ago and then you give your modern take of that particular thing does not mean that you should lie that you are the owner or that you were the first person. That's just an ethical issue. However, the law does not mandate you to give credit. But I mean, common sense and integrity and basically your PR, you don't want to be known as a liar. And the fact that a song is online and it's free for download does not mean it's in the public domain. It actually, the monopoly of the ownership actually has to expire. The monopoly of the copyright in it actually has to expire before you can say it's in the public domain. So yes, when you're doing your research as to the kind of music you want to build on, the kind of music you want to sample, what you want to remix or whatever, please find out how long it has existed, because that will now help you calculate how long the copyright in it will last. So I actually have a list of some of the songs that are in the public domain that you can actually remix, you can sample, you can even use in your film soundtrack. All you have to do is type in public domain in the comment section and I'll send it to you. Bye.